This particular agent was very proud of the fact that they did not show many houses before they wrote an offer. Their goal was to get people in as quick as possible. It was all transactions. I've been having some interesting conversations with agents in different parts of the country about their marketplace and some of the things that their agents are running into. And then I was interested to see if you've heard anything recently, or there's been a lot of craziness that you've been seeing. I can hear a little bit across the hall and hear bits and pieces, but anything crazy going on in your world?
I think the biggest thing that we're really focused on now is as we advocate for our clients and as they're asking us questions, I think a lot of times they feel like, oh, I'm taking too much of your time. Am I being too picky? And I think, and then others think, oh, we're at 98% of everything I want. I need to find that other 2%. I need 100% of what I want. So we have these differing viewpoints on the other opposite ends of the spectrum. And so what I tell the people that ask me, am I being too picky? Are we going to have to settle and make the updates or whatever the case may be that they're wanting? And I think we see houses every day. So based on our expertise, we oftentimes have a feel and know we think something better is going to come along. If we're at 50 or 60% of what you're looking for, we probably are going to find something else. Let's be patient and pause and slow things down a little bit. Let's look at anything that comes out and check, but let's be patient. And a better unicorn is coming, going to be coming on the market. And then other times when they were at 98% and they're a perfectionist, probably more like me in a lot of ways. Oh, I just need that extra 2%. I want it to be 100% perfect before I buy it. And oftentimes that is not going to happen. Typically, buyers have to realize there are different levers, whether it's they're getting a smaller kitchen but a bigger backyard, or a bigger kitchen and a smaller backyard, or 3 streets over from where they really want to be, or whatever the case may be. And so there are some levers that have to be pulled. And I think because we see houses constantly every day, we have a good barometer of let's be patient or we need to move on this one.
I couldn't agree with you more, and that's really interesting. Hey, everybody, this is Michael Bryan with Bryan Realty Group.
Hey, April Bryan with Bryan Realty Group.
We appreciate you joining us. We're just going to have a few conversations about what we're seeing with some of the marketplace issues and things we're dealing with a few clients and agents, and share a little bit of information about what we're seeing, what we think.
Exactly.
It's interesting to talk about buyers and their decisions and how close we can get to perfect for them and how to advocate for them. I was just having a conversation with another broker that is interviewing some agents, and he was talking about how an agent that he interviewed was bragging on their show to offer ratio, that this particular agent was very proud of the fact that they did not show many houses before they wrote an offer, that they really were selling the house and selling the customer on, or the client on, the house.
Interesting.
And the broker ended up not offering to let them hang their license with them because he didn't feel like that fit their culture. Their culture is a lot more like ours. But we want the clients to make the right decision, and we're not going to push them into a house. We want to make sure that it's going to be a good fit. And so many times, buyers are looking for the perfect house, or they're frustrated because the perfect house, or as close to perfect as possible, has not come out, that they're really willing to settle.
Yeah.
Or they walk into a house. How many times have we walked to a house that's been remodeled and, the shiny new looks fantastic, but when we start looking at the quality and looking at some of the other things, and it's just lipstick on a pig, and what a horrible investment that could potentially turn out to be. And you advise your clients not to buy a house. You had to have any conversations with clients to not settle and not buy recently?
Definitely. And we have so many things we can go into from what you just said, I think. And I haven't had the conversation of anybody with the offer to showing ratio conversation. So I found that very interesting.
Too.
And I come at it from two different angles. One, I think that's terrible. We need to show as many houses as we need to get our clients into the right one. But then I also think if we're doing our jobs effectively, we will have a lot of questions on the front end and be strong listeners to hear everything that our clients are telling us they're looking for. And then we know the market. We're seeing houses every day. How do we filter and narrow in on going to see the right houses?
It's funny that you say that. I'll let you, sorry to interrupt, but one of the questions I had was this agent doing such a great job on the front end?
I'm
about
curious.
getting the information and developing the search and doing all the research to weed out the homes that might not be a good fit before showing. And if that's the case, kudos to the agent. They're doing their job on the front end.
Right.
And he said that he had actually dug into that a little bit more through the interview process, and that was not necessarily the case. These were a lot of times people they were meeting for the very first time. The brokerage where this guy was coming from was buying a ton of lead from different generation sources, and their goal was to get people in as quick as possible. It was all transaction based. So I understand. I was on the same page.
Okay, because I'm thinking, I want to know their processes on the front end better.
Absolutely.
I think we do a great job, but it sounds like we could do an even better job. So, and I think you're exactly right, hitting the whole transactional. I'm just trying to get you into a house and I'm going to sell you on any house I take you into, or I want the right fit for you and your family or whoever's moving with you. And so I think that that's a big difference. I actually had some clients just the other day. We were looking at a house. They liked it. It was a nice house. It was in good condition. It was a very nice house. It was in the area they wanted to be in. It had the right number of rooms, but it just didn't feel quite right. The backyard was a little odd for what they were wanting to have. They wanted to have a little bit more room, but we had looked at quite a few houses and they finally just said, are we being unreasonable? And while I loved that question, I like people with self-awareness and trying to figure out, are we being unreasonable? Because some of us can be unreasonable. People say that I'm unreasonable a lot. So I like that question. And I said, absolutely not. I said that the right one is coming. We're not there yet. And I felt very comfortable and confident in saying that because I see houses all the time. And so knowing what they're looking for, plus what the market is offering today, plus what the market might offer down the road, I usually, because of our expertise, we know what's coming in general and that this was not quite right for them. About 2 to 3 weeks later, the right house hit. They're super excited. They just recently closed. But I like having the knowledge and the local expertise to know we're not there yet. We need to keep looking.
Right.
But on the flip side, because I want to show the other side of the equation, for clients where we've found houses, multiple houses that are 98% of what they're looking for, and they're just wanting that extra 2%. And I feel like we've already found the unicorn for them a few times in a beautiful, perfect house. 98% is pretty darn perfect. And so for those clients, I feel very confident in saying, I'm not pushy and just trying to get you into a house. I think this is the house, or I think these are your best options. It's time to choose at this point, probably. And I think because we see so many houses, we have the right viewpoint and context to give that guidance. Once we've built the trust with the client that they know we're not just trying to sell them on every house we walk into. The other key thing is we don't sugarcoat. If we go into a house and see lipstick on a pig where somebody has glossed over something, whether it be a contractor or maybe a do-it-yourself homeowner, we want to point those things out and highlight those things so that our buyers can make the right decision, for what they're trying to achieve. So I think that's really important.
And to veer off for 1 second, and I don't mean to take us down a different rabbit hole, so I'm going to say this quickly and then we can come back because I love everything you've just said, but it made me think about to all you young agents out there, And when I say young, I mean just getting in the business. You could be
Any
80
age.
years old, or you could be 21 years old. If you're just in the business, you're a young agent. Learn your product. Spend time. If you were to go get in the swimming pool business, I'll use that as an example, and you were going to start building swimming pools, you would learn all the different pumps, all the different filters. You would learn the different substrates, gunite, fiberglass, above ground, vinyl. You learn everything you could about the different types of pools out there, and the different equipment and the different features and the different add-ons, so that you could then inform your clients. This is no different. This is like any other job. This is a profession. Be a professional. Go learn the products. Go shadow agents who've been in the business. Ask them if you can go on showings with them. Meet with their clients. Just be a fly on the wall. Go meet with builders. Go to new construction neighborhoods and make appointments to go look at them. Tell everybody that you're an agent. Go preview houses. Learn the products. Learn the neighborhoods. You're doing yourself a favor, and you're doing the right thing for your future clients.
Yeah. And it's all about being a professional.
Absolutely.
Yeah. 100% agree with that. The other thing that we talked a little bit about is, not always selling people on now is the right time or you're in the right position to buy. And so understanding the clients, how long do you plan to be in this house? Now that's going to change, but you only know what you know right now. How long do you plan right now to be in this house? And some people think, oh, I don't even need to think about resale. And because this is only for our living conditions. While I do believe in finding the house that's right for you and your needs, I also feel like life situations change. And so I, as a professional, I'm always going to be working to protect their investment and be thinking about the long term as well. And if the flow or layout of the house isn't going to work for most people, or the location is going to be a problem because of traffic noise or flooding or whatever the case may be, I just want to make sure that we point that out and we're very specific about that to say, I know this house is perfect for you now, but in 2, 3, 5, 10 more years, I just want to make sure you're going in eyes wide open. I have concerns about resale for these reasons. They get to make the decision. It's their money, it's their family, but that's concerning to me.
I agree. It's not our decision to make.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you run into two different scenarios of people out there. You've got some people that are pushing buyers to make a decision and pushing them on a house, or people that are like, it's yours, you figure it out, I'm just here to write up the paperwork. And I feel like you really need to be in the middle. You need to be the one to give the information. Our job is to educate and provide information. Good, bad, ugly, doesn't matter.
That's right.
We give unbiased information.
That's right.
To allow them to make the most informed decision for themselves.
Yeah.
It's not our job to make the decision for them, but
Right.
it's not our job to just sit on the fence and not say anything.
That's right.
We do need to give them that information.
Exactly.
My philosophy when it comes to that, and the way I've always looked at it, is it's kind of like I treat every buyer like a relocation buyer. These people are usually, when they're moving in town, they can be here for a year to 3 years, and they're typically, for the most part. And
Yeah.
Some stay longer, some don't stay as long, but typically it's that 2-year mark is what most of these companies are moving people around to get different types of experience in different locations. And so I'm always wanting to make sure this is not their forever home.
Yeah.
This is a home that they're going to need to resell in a couple of years, and not the average of 13.
Right.
And we want to make sure that in 2 years that it's going to be easy for them to sell. So there are a lot of things to think about, and just because, again, it's their decision. If they have to buy what they want.
That's right.
But we want to point out the things that could affect the size of their buyer pool.
Absolutely.
If they're buying the railroad track every single time, they don't care about trains. They love trains. Maybe they grew up next to a railroad track and it brings back tons of memories for them. I've had that. People love that sound. Totally get it. That's what they want. But they need to think about it through the lens of, if I have to sell this house tomorrow, what is my buyer pool going to look like? They may still do it.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Right.
But we want them to have that information and have that in their head to be able to make that decision.
That's right. Consider it.
Yeah, it's just a consideration. It's
That's
not
right.
to tell them not to do it.
Right. Just to
Their
think
home.
through all the pieces.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Agree completely. One other example that I just recently had was a relocation deal. They were coming in town. We had looked at a few different houses. I had a good feel for what they were looking for. We'd had a lot of interview and discussion on the front end. We'd seen a few houses and gotten good feedback. And we saw a house. They really wanted a pool, along with a lot of other things. And we saw a house, great house, good bones, but needed a lot of updating, needed a pool. And the question was, is this the one? We like it. Not much is hitting the market. Inventory's kind of low for what they were looking for. And because of our local expertise and knowledge, the discussion was, we're not quite there yet, but let's keep looking. And so that, I think that was a hard decision to make for them. But then a week later, the house hit, had the pool, all the things they were looking for, just about. And so they're under contract, and
That's fantastic.
yeah. So that's a great example.
Doesn't always happen that way.
It doesn't, but
it
that's a good
happens more
example.
often than not.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
awesome.
Yeah. And having the local expertise and knowing your clients so well really helps pull that together to create that we talk about magic, to create that magic for them.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for joining us. We really appreciate it. If you liked what you saw, please hit the like or share button. We greatly appreciate it. And if you have, as always, if there are topics you'd like for us to cover in the future, please send them to us. We're always looking for good things to talk about. Have a great day.